Hey, what is it, guys? It's Ujar. Today we're going to be doing a tier list for Kayle. What keystones are the best for Kayle? Um, the best ones are pretty obvious, but I just wanted to do a little bit of a fun video for today. What keystones are good for her? Because a lot of people do ask me, dude, does Airy work on her? Does Lethal Tempo work on her? So I'm just going to be doing this in order to just link it to some people so they can see how good a certain keystone is on her. So let's start from left to right. First one is Aftershock. Don't use this, guys. I've actually seen some people use Aftershock on Kayle in like Iron. I don't know why. She doesn't have any hard CC, so she can't actually proc it. Maybe she can proc it if she uses Everfrost, but that's about it. Just don't use this. It's pretty bad. It's literally the worst keystone on her, in my opinion. Comet is actually pretty good. With the Luden's Echo build. This is one of her best keystones with that build, and you can proc it a lot of times, and also proc Lethal Temp. I mean, Luden's Echo. Well, Luden's Tempest a lot of times, so pretty good on her. Next one, I think it's a solid A tier, actually. I'm not gonna put it into S tier. I only think there's two in S tier, but yeah. Um, Conqueror. I'm actually gonna put it in F tier. No, it's the best of F tier or the bottom of C tier. This is a pretty bad keystone on Kayle. A lot of people have asked me if they can use Conqueror on Kayle. It's pretty bad, guys. It's pretty bad because she can't really proc it that easily. She needs like 5 auto attacks plus like Q and stuff. It's not a good keystone on her. Never use Conqueror on her. I'm actually gonna leave it on F tier. I might bump it up into C tier afterwards. Maybe I made too many tiers here. Okay, doesn't really matter. I'm gonna put Dark Harvest in C tier. It's a decent keystone, but it's not something you would use on Kayle. It's actually not good. Maybe for a fun build, for a full lethality build, I've used it a couple of times for videos, but it's not a good keystone on Kayle for climbing. Omni Stone, actually gonna put it in B tier. It's not an amazing keystone on her, but it's not terrible. She can actually cycle these keystones really nicely, and if you can proc like two or three keystones in a team fight with Kayle, she actually cycles them really nicely. It's a pretty decent keystone on her. Again, I wouldn't really use it, but it's a decent keystone on her. Electrocute was actually an A tier. It was actually S tier when you can proc it with just one E and an auto attack. I'm gonna leave it in A tier. I think it's still a decent keystone on her. The thing is, when they changed her E to only count as one, it's a lot harder for her to proc it. I don't think it's as good as Comet, so I'm gonna leave it here below it. But I think it's better than a B tier because B tier is where this is. So I'm just gonna leave it here. Fleet S tier. That's actually the easiest S tier. I mean, I'm gonna leave both S tiers here because you guys already know what the best keystones on her are. Now, do I think Fleet is better than Press the Attack? No, but I don't think Press the Attack is better on her than Fleet either. It just depends on the matchup. I actually use more Fleet than Press the Attack on my main because I think Fleet is more versatile and Fleet scales better. A lot of people think Press the Attack scales better. That's not true. Press the Attack is better from level 6 to level 13, 14-ish. After level 13, 14, it's Fleet is a lot better. Fleet is a lot better levels 1 to 5 too, so yeah. But yeah, just gonna leave these two right here because they're kind of the obvious ones. Everyone knows that Fleet and Press the Attack are the best keystones on her right now. Okay, this one. I always forget the name of this one. Glacial Augment. I'm gonna leave it in B tier. Honestly, it was a little bit better last season, but right now you can only really use it with Everfrost, and you don't really need it with Everfrost. Maybe actually C tier. Nah, you can have some matchups where you can actually use this early game. I would not use this. Like never. It's either B or C tier. I'm gonna leave it in the top of C tier. Grass is actually A tier. Grass is a keystone I actually use in some matchups, and it's a keystone that's really good and underrated in mid lane. It's so good at mid. I don't play mid lane, but when I was actually practicing Kayle in mid lane, I was using Grasp a lot against mages, and it works so well to trade against them, even pre-level 6. They struggle a lot against this, so yeah, Grasp is really good. I actually think it's better than Comet, so I'm just gonna leave it right here. Yeah, that sounds nice for Grasp. Guardian, I'm gonna leave it in B tier. This is only for support. If we're talking solo lane kill, this is F tier obviously, but support Kayle actually works really well with Guardian, so I'm gonna leave it here on the top of B tier. I'm not gonna put it any more up. So yeah, it's a really good for support Kayle, but it's if you're playing solo lane kill, just don't take this. It's really bad. Hill of Blade's gonna leave it in A tier. Gonna leave it in A tier, but I'm gonna put it here. Between Electrocute and Comet. I think Comet is just too versatile with the Luden's Tempest build. It's just very good. Electrocute, maybe not the best. Maybe I can actually put it in B tier. Yeah. Honestly, after the changes they did to it, well, to Kayle's E, it's not really the best. I think Hill of Blades is really underrated on Kayle. People don't really use it. But it's really underrated. It's a very good keystone for early game, and I actually used it a lot in the beginning of the season. No, it was actually after they nerfed AP Kayle when it was like literally broken. So yeah, somewhat beginning of the season, like first 3 or 4 patches of the season. With AD Kayle, I used it a lot, but I just think these two are a little bit better. Lethal Tempo. I'm gonna leave it here. Between Grasp and between Comet. Lethal Tempo is really good when it's good, and it sucks. It's really bad when you can't really use it. The only time I would use it is when you have what's the item called? Immortal Shield Bow. That's the only time I would use this keystone. The problem with this keystone is that it's really easy. It's really easy to bait. And people in higher elos will like they will just go for short trades and then will not continue after the lethal tempo. And since after the lethal tempo proc, and since Kayle doesn't really have hard TC, it's really hard for her to stick onto people. Maybe with Q and W, but even then, a lot of people have dashes. It's a good keystone on Kayle. It's not terrible, but I would just put it right here. Am I being fair? Let me see. I actually think Fleet is better than Press the Attack, and that's kind of, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that because a lot of people, like most people, use Press the Attack, but I just think Fleet's a lot more versatile. They're pretty close together, like don't get me wrong. I use both of them like 50-50 probably, or 55-45. They're both the best keystones on Kayle. I just think this one edges out a little bit more. Even though most people take Press the Attack, I prefer Fleet. Okay, so Grasp, Lethal Tempo. Yeah, this looks fine to me. This looks fine. This is an ECA. Face Rush, I'm gonna put it right here. ECA. It's really good against certain matchups. That's why it's not higher up, and it's harder to proc now because of the changes they did to the E. But again, this keystone's really good against some matchups, against Tryndamere, against Nasus, against Olaf, against what else? Mundo. I actually not taking it anymore against Mundo because I don't know. I just think it's not worth it against Mundo anymore. But against a lot of champions that have slows, this is really good. And yeah, you can kite people really well with this keystone. It's amazing keystones for Kayle when it's good. Predator. I'm not gonna lie. I think I haven't. Don't quote me on this, guys. I think I don't have a video on Predator Kayle. I think I've never used Predator Kayle in my life. I don't want to rate this without using it, but I'm gonna put it right. I'm gonna put it right here. Nah, it's below this. Gonna put it right here. It might have some uses, but I don't think it's better than Dark Harvest on Kayle. I think it's better than Conqueror and Aftershock. I just think Conqueror is complete garbage. Airy is actually A tier. I want to put it right here. So Airy, there's a lot of kills in high elo that use Airy, and this is very like it's gonna surprise a lot of you that I'm putting it above Face Rush, but this is because Airy is basically a keystone that you can take on Kayle every single game. Like not every single game, but still, like you can take it with a fleet and with Percy attack. There's a lot of kills in high elo that take Airy, and they do so good. I don't know when they use it, but when they do, it just works very well for them. I do have to say that they haven't been using Airy as of late because right now these two are just so good on kill, but Airy is very good, and it's also very good on support kill. So I'm just gonna leave it right here above this, and yeah, I think that's fair. And on Sealed Spellbook, I'm just gonna put it near here next to. Yeah, no, I'm gonna put it right here. It has some uses on kill. I have some videos on it. I think it's decent, but I just don't think it's as versatile for kill as the rest of these keystones. And we have somewhat of a bell curve, somewhat leaning towards A tier. It's just a lot of keystones work very, very well on kill. That's why a lot of them are in A tier. They're not S tier as these two, because these two are basically the only two that are deserving of being S tier with kill. But yeah, I think that's my tier list for keystones on kill. And yeah, leave the comments. Leave what you would change about these this tier list I made on the comment section. I think it's pretty fair. Maybe Conqueror, maybe some people would put it in C tier, but yeah, just leave it in the comments, guys. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the kill content. And yeah, as always, have a nice one.